Just a quick little message to let you know that this isn't one of my regular videos. I'm kind of sneaking this in between my regular videos. This is a video I shot over on the coast while I was fishing. And, you know, this is for the 5 or 6 guys I got that subscribe to the fishing part of my channel. So next week I'll have up another regular gold mining video. So if you enjoy fishing, I hope you enjoy the video. Well, good morning all. Well, this morning's plan was to do a little bit of halibut fishing, but we don't really have enough drift to cover the ground I want to, so I thought, well, we'll just go flounder fishing instead. And up here in Northern California, the flounders are called Petrale sole, I think. But, you know, they get about yay big, and they're super good eating. And so I thought, well, since we don't have much drift, it's a real good day to go after them. Let me show you how I get set up to do this. Now, the rig I'm using here, I have it's a swivel at the top, and I think there's 5 hooks on here, and then just a clip at the bottom to attach the weight. Now I have 2 different size hooks here. One's a small hook, one's a fairly large hook. And the reason I do this is when I first start, I use both hooks to get an idea of the size of the fish that's down there. And then if there's nothing but little ones, then I'll move to a different spot. If I'm catching a large fish, then I just don't put any bait on the smaller hook because I don't want to catch the little small ones. So what we're going to use for bait is squid, and we're going to put, we got little drift today, so we're going to put an 8-ounce weight on the bottom of this and send her down and see what we do. Okay, we got our weight on, and then we got a little hunk of squid on each hook. We use a fairly sizable amount of squid because, you know, I'm using probably half or a third of a squid because we're after the big fish. Now, I'm not too worried about catching some sand dabs in the process because when we're done here, I'm going to head into the rocks and get my lingcod so I can use a few sand dabs for bait. Okay, let's send this thing down and see what's down there. Now we'll just let it settle all the way to the bottom, and then once we get on the bottom, we try to let that bait settle to the floor, down onto the sand, and then periodically we'll pick it up, and as it rises up, we should get a bite, or at least that's the plan. So looks like we're getting close to the bottom. Let's do a little fishing. Okay, we're now on the bottom, and we just let everything go slack. And we'll just feel for bites. All right, we just had a bite. Now, every time you get a bite, you want to set the hook, but you don't want to bring it up too early because the idea is to get more than one fish. Okay, we're going to bring it up and see what we got. Well, we got one small one. And so we'll go ahead and throw this guy in the bucket. Now one of the advantages of using the real large hooks is they don't swallow the hook. It just hooks them in the lip. You can throw them in the bucket. We still got a bait and just send her back down. Okay, we're going to let her down and see if we can get another one. Okay, now we're getting some bites. Okay, there's a nice one. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, this feels like a decent one. We're almost there. Here he comes. Okay, yeah, this one's a keeper. Ah. That's a decent sized one. We'll unhook this guy and throw him in the bucket. Okay, well, now like I was saying, you want to make sure you stay over a sandy bottom. Now, I just taken a look at my fish finder here, and I can see the bottom has jumped up from 180 to 160, and I can see fish on the bottom. So we don't want fish here because those are rock fish. So what we'll do is we'll spin around and head on out, get back out in the deep water. Okay, now we know we don't want to be around the rocks, and we were drifting into the rocks pretty good there. Luckily, we didn't go down, so we didn't get any rockfish. Now, we're going to run out here to about 190 feet of water, and then we're going to allow for the drift to make sure we don't drift back onto those rocks. We want to stay out where it's all sand. Okay, well, looks like we got a good hard bottom here. Let's drop in and see if we can catch. Well, we're getting some bites, but they're little bites. They're sand dabs. The flounder hits much harder. Well, we got us a couple of sand dabs. We'll save these and use them for bait. And if we don't need them for bait, they're good eating too. Now, if you're not getting a bite when you first let down, go ahead and drag your rig. Go ahead and let the weight just drag on the bottom. Just let it drag for a little bit and then let out a little more line. Let it settle down, let it sit there for a minute, and then see if there's any bites in this spot. And you just keep doing that until you come across a spot that's got some fish in it. Well, I don't know what we got, but it feels large, and I don't think it's a flounder. Now let's get her up and see what we got. Boy, that thing is fighting. We have a shark. Well, I'm not really sure how we're going to get this guy in. I think we're going to use the net. All right. Okay, well, I got him unhooked and measured. He's 44 inches long, and I am going to put him back in. Well, that was a rather interesting catch. You never know what you're going to get. Well, we have, while we're battling that shark, we have drifted over the rocks, and we do not want to be over the rocks when we're fishing for flounders. So I'm going to spin the boat around and get back out away from these rocks. Feels like a pretty nice fish. Oh yeah. That's a nice little fish. Okay, well, I'm going to throw this guy in the bucket and take a look because I think we may have enough fish for today. I'm pretty sure we got 4 fairly decent fish in the bucket, and that's plenty for me. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to put everything away, get rigged up for lingcod. We're going to run into the rocks, see if we can grab us a couple of nice lingcod before we got to head in. Okay, everything's stowed away, everything's secure. Let's head on in. Okay, we're now in 75 feet of water and over some rocks. So let's go get some lingcod. Okay, I got a nice fish here. Oh, this is a heavy lingcod. Whoa! Get the gaff out. Let's see if we can get this guy. All right, that is a nice lingcod. Okay, I think we're gonna call this a day because the limit's 2, but that one fish is plenty big enough. So I think I'm gonna stop at 1 because the wind's starting to come up and I gotta head back into the wind to get back home. So I wanna head home before it gets too rough. So let's head back to the dock. Well, we made it back in, and not too soon because the wind is really blowing. It was kind of rough that last little bit before we got in. But we're at the dock now. I'm gonna go ahead and clean these fish up, and I'll see you back at the trailer. Boy, it feels good to get in out of that wind. It was getting a little on the nippy side out there. Now, normally, you know, I like to shoot a few more videos while I'm over here fishing, but this year the ocean just has not been cooperating. It's been pretty rough, a lot of wind. Fishing's been fairly good, but it's really hard to film when the boat's bouncing all over the place. Hopefully, we'll get some nice weather and we'll be able to do a couple more videos. But normally, you know, I shoot treasure hunting and gold mining videos. And if that kind of stuff interests you, you know, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Well, right now, I got some fresh flounder sitting over there, and I'm starving to death. So, I'm out of here. You guys have a wonderful day.